Squiz Kids acknowledges the traditional owners of the lands on which we podcast, the Turrbal and Kombumerri people.
Squiz Kids!
It's your daily news fix. Fun, free, fresh.
Hello and welcome to Squiz Kids Today, your fresh take on what's happening in the world around you. I'm Bryce Corbett. It's Monday, July 15. In Squiz Kids Today, the gunshot that shocked the world, Euro 2024 Grand Final, Mr. Beast breaks a record, and the Tinned Tuna Olympics. That's what's making news, kids style.
The Lowdown.
It was a gunshot whose echoes will be heard around the world as the US election race heats up. A gunshot that tragically killed an innocent man and injured a presidential candidate, as the world woke in shock yesterday to the news that Donald Trump had survived an assassination attempt. Assassination is the name given to when someone tries to kill a public figure. Trump, as you might know, used to be the President of America and is running for election again. Whilst speaking at a rally of his supporters yesterday, Donald Trump was the object of an assassination attempt. The next few days and weeks will be dominated by this news, and lots of claims and counterclaims will be made about the how and the why of it, as police and investigators try to work out who tried to shoot the former president and why. The important thing for us to remember, and for you to remind your parents, is that while lots of stuff will appear on social media claiming to know the truth of what happened, only credible sources of news and information should be trusted. Actual newspapers and radio and TV news bulletins and websites from real news organisations, not some random who posts on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook. As Squizzy the Newshound reminds us, we should always stop, think and check. Queensland. Beautiful one day, snowy the next? Wait, what? Yes, you heard right. As winter takes hold around the country, some parts of the normally sunny state of Queensland are bracing themselves for mornings of sub-zero temperatures this week, with the real possibility of snow falling. It's sent weather chasers into a frenzy, who are already planning trips to New South Wales's northern tablelands and Queensland's granite belt to capture this rare meteorological event. And a special welcome back to school for all our Squiz Kids listeners in Victoria, for whom chilly mornings are pretty much par for the cause. And welcome back to you two over in WA and up in the Northern Territory. And of course to our Queensland listeners, who have been back on deck now for a week. Isn't it great to be back at school?
Spin the globe.
Each day we give the world globe a spin and find a news story from wherever it stops. And today we've landed in Berlin, the capital of Germany, where thousands of football fans from the countries of Spain and England are screaming their teams to victory even as we go to air this morning in the final of the Euro 2024. The Euro 2024 is the UEFA European Football Championship, the competition where all the football-playing countries of Europe compete against one another. It's been going on for about 3 weeks now, and everything has led to this moment, this morning, where England is hoping to overcome the odds and beat favourites Spain to take home the trophy in front of a capacity crowd in Berlin of some 75,000 football fanatics. And that's not to mention the many millions who'll be watching around the world on television this morning. All eyes this morning were on 16-year-old Spanish sensation Lamine Yamal, who, in the space of the past few weeks, has become one of the biggest names in the sport, thanks in no small part to an incredible goal he scored against France, a video to which I've stuck a link to in today's episode notes, because it truly is a thing of beauty.
Sport time.
Now that the European Football Championships are over, the eyes of the sports-loving world will turn to Paris as we count down to the Olympics. The opening ceremony is now only 11 days away, which means athletes from all over the world are on their way to France, including the Australian Olympic team. At a news conference last week to announce the final members of the Aussie team, it was revealed that along with our 460 athletes, we're also sending 3 tons of canned tuna, 10,000 muesli bars, 2,400 pies, and almost 10,000 slushies. What? To keep them all watered and fed. Now, if it were me and I was going to be in Paris for 2 weeks, I'd be eating nothing but croissants. But I guess that's why I'm not an Olympic athlete. And to make sure that you don't miss a thing, we'll be producing a daily update each morning during the Paris Games, called the Squiz Kids Olympic Sprint. All the action from Paris that's happened overnight while you've been asleep, because too much Olympic gold, my friends, is never enough.
Pop Culture Corner.
He's given away millions of dollars, created a real-life Squid Game competition, found homes for hundreds of rescue dogs, and staged some of the nuttiest stunts that YouTube has ever seen. And as of last week, Mr. Beast, real name Jimmy Donaldson, has become the first person to amass 300 million subscribers on YouTube. Yep, 300 million. That's like the entire population of Australia times 11. But it's worth noting that it's taken him 11 years to get here. 11 years of consistently creating content, even on days when he maybe didn't much feel like it, or days when he only had 100 subscribers and really couldn't see the point of continuing. It's a lesson in being consistent and putting in effort when no one is watching, and especially when no one is watching. Because the practice and the discipline will bear fruit in years to come. And that is a lesson that you can apply to anything, my friends. Be it your schoolwork, or to a sport you love, or to dance, or to drawing. Happy Term 3, people. A quick message to the big people listening, the mums and dads, teachers, carers, and guardians. Keep listening at the end of this podcast, and you'll hear the very first of what we expect will be a new series called Squiz Kids Conversations, where we sit down and have a chat, made for adults, about a topic we think is important to our big people listeners. Today's chat is between me and Australia's e-safety commissioner, Julie Inman-Grant, about kids and social media. It's especially timely as the Australian government conducts a parliamentary inquiry into social media, an inquiry to which Squiz Kids has made a submission, arguing the importance of media literacy education at primary school. I've written an opinion piece on the topic that was published over the weekend in the Sydney Morning Herald and The Age newspapers, which you'll find a link to in today's episode notes.
Time for the quiz.
This is the part of the podcast where you get to test how well you've been listening. Question number 1. Which 2 countries are duking it out for the Euro 2024 trophy this morning? Yeah, that's right, it's England and Spain. Question number 2. In which city will the Olympics kick off in 11 days' time? Well done if you said Paris. Question number 3. How many subscribers does YouTuber Mr. Beast have? Well done if you said 300 million. Whoa!
Shout-outs.
It's July 15. On this day in 1799, a very famous stone called the Rosetta Stone was discovered. It had Egyptian hieroglyphics on it, which had been translated into Greek, which provided a sort of stone dictionary for deciphering Egypt's famous ancient script. Is that confusing? I've stuck an explainer video in today's episode notes. Well worth checking out. It's also a special day today for these Squiz Kids, celebrating a birthday today and tomorrow. Corey from Ashmont, Dante from Chermside West, Larry from Gulgong, Frankie from Norman Park, Ayan from Forest Lake, Elijah from Grovedale, and Ned from the Glasshouse Mountains. And because a lot of you celebrated a birthday during the recent school holidays whilst we were having a little bit of a break, and because we don't want you to miss out on your birthday shout-out, we're going to be working our way through all of these belated birthday shout-outs over the coming week. because there are so many of you, we're going to get the old birthday reggae tune out to help us out. Hit it! And it's a happy belated birthday too. Delta from Atwood, Morgan from Cessnock, Jude from Tingalpa, Eleni and Olive from Wynnum, Hugo from Middle Harbour, Lachlan from Mount Barker Summit, Dean from Dubbo, Lucy from Sydney, Aziza from Cronulla, Sylvie from Bethanga, Brooklyn from Old Bar, Hunter from Wagga Wagga, Abby from Bayswater, Nicholas from Mount Gravatt, Leo from Cheltenham, Amelia from Lura, Amalia from Eltham, Isaac from Golgong, Simon from Ashwood, and Lachlan, Matthew, Comley, Roma, Urush and Kwang, all from Forest Lake. And a little note that classroom shoutouts will resume next week once we've worked our way through all of these belated birthday shoutouts. Don't forget, if you've got a birthday coming up and you want a shout out, or if you're after a classroom shout out this term, drop us a line at squizkids@thesquiz.com.au or fill out the form on our website. Well, that's all we have time for. Thanks for listening to Squiz Kids today. We'll be back again tomorrow with a special pre-Olympics episode of Squiz the World, as we pay a virtual visit to one of my favourite countries in the world, my former home, France. In the meantime, friends, get out there and have a most excellent day. Over and out.